This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. My co-host today, Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality #1 best-selling author. We will be answering your questions about your life and your money. Thank you for jumping in, America. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jeff is going to start us off this hour in Cincinnati. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, Jet. I'm doing good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I'm kind of a new follower. I just found you earlier this year and had some questions about potentially refinancing our house.
Mm-hmm.
We originally bought it back in January of 2021. This was obviously before we knew you, and we got a 30-year loan at 2.5%.
Mm-hmm.
And now kind of considering, do we move to a 15-year? But my biggest concern with that is that we're giving up that 2.5% rate to go somewhere around 5% or so.
You're right to be concerned.
So to make more sense,
I would not do that. You're right. Okay. No,
so
you keep the existing mortgage you have. If you calculate a 30-year mortgage and you calculate a 15-year mortgage at the same interest rate, in your case 2.5%, and you pay the difference, like you took out a 30 and you pay the extra amount as in the difference between a 15 payment and a 30 payment, it will pay off in exactly 15 years.
Okay.
You do not have to refinance to pay a loan off in 15 years. You just have to pay it like it's a 15-year payment, and it'll pay right out. Or more, of course, and then it would pay out even sooner. So never refinance just to move from a 30 to a 15 because you take on the closing costs at a minimum, and in this case, you'd go up in interest rate. So you never do that. Just pay extra on it, and you'll get there.
Okay.
That was easy, wasn't it?
As far as how much house I can afford, we were well within the 25%. Kind of calculating it off of the 2.5% rate that we have.
Great.
But with rates now, I know we're not refinancing, but that would obviously put us probably closer to the 30% mark. Do we have?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're fine. You know, the reality is your house payment is a fourth of your take-home pay at a 15-year on 2.5%, and so you're fine. The reason we put that in place is not to keep people from buying homes. And, John, people are really mad right now about
because you hate home
house
ownership.
prices. Apparently, I hate home ownership, and I'm an unrealistic old boomer or whatever other terms of derision you can throw at my bald head. But I don't care if you get a house you can't afford. It doesn't affect me. It affects you if you buy a house you can't afford. Jeff's in good shape. He's not got any issues. But here's the thing, and I've been answering this question the same way for 30 years. Like, we have people call us from California. Well, Dave, you can't buy a house in California for that. That means you can't buy a house in California for that. That's what that means. You also may not be able to buy a Bentley. You also may not be, when I grew up, this county that we live in is the 11th wealthiest county in the nation, the wealthiest county in Tennessee, Williamson County, Tennessee, where you and I are sitting right now, where both of us live now. When I was growing up, that's where the rich people lived. And we said stuff like, you can't afford to live there. And you know what? Not everybody can afford to live there. Everybody can afford to live on Rodeo Drive or in downtown Manhattan or downtown Tokyo or downtown London. It's freaking expensive. And so sometimes you just have to say, I can't afford it, number one. But number two, the reason for this is we know from the data of doing this 30 years that your most likely way to become wealthy is to get your home paid off as soon as possible, and all other debts too, because it frees up your most powerful wealth building tool. And so if you keep a mortgage around like it's a pet for your whole life, because you're thinking, well, I'm always going to have a mortgage, and the only way I can afford a mortgage, the only way I'm ever going to get a house, because I'll never get a house, I'm so stuck, and it's just not fair, and life's not fair, and I'm a 4-year-old in the cereal aisle throwing a fit, and I want Captain Crunch. Dad, blame it, and it's just like, and everybody's acting like that right now. And so I'm sorry. I'm sorry that when I was a kid, I couldn't live in Williamson County. I couldn't afford it. My family didn't make that kind of money. I'm sorry. I had a traumatized childhood. I'm sorry. But it's the way life is. And so, the answer is no. The reason you tell yourself no is so you can tell yourself yes later. So if you go buy a house you can't afford, and you go take car payments out that you can't afford, and you go take, which nobody can, you go take out a student loan, and you go take out MasterCard and Visa and American Express, you're going to be normal. And normal is you work your whole life and give all of the money you earn to someone else in the form of payments and retire broke and hope Social Insecurity will take care of you. Who the crap wants to be normal?
Right.
And so you've got to break this cycle and not be angry at me or at the world or at Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is you're angry at this week because house prices went up. I'm really sorry. I don't want you to be upset, and I don't want you to not have a house, but I also don't want you to do something stupid that's going to keep you broke your whole life.
I'll throw a third one on there, Dave. I have found in my life, when I've had a 30-year mortgage, and I've had a couple of those in the 15-year, I can have all the best intentions with a 30-year mortgage, but when it comes down to it, every single month, somebody invites me out to a thing. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, we're all going out to this thing.
Yep.
And whether I've got the best intentions or I've got all the willpower in the world, it's really hard for me to double that payment or to make that gap payment between the 30-year note is requiring me to pay and what I could be paying for that 15-year. With the 15-year, I'm locked into it. I got to do it.
One of the things I figured out when I very first started doing this stuff with Financial Peace, when I started studying rich people, is they put smart things on autopilot.
Yes. I don't want to think about it.
100% of the 15-year mortgages pay off in 15 years or less.
Yep.
100%. Or they get foreclosed on. 100% of them do. Okay? People that take out a 30 promising to pay a 15, the studies say 92% do not stick with the schedule. If you put a system in place that you have to be in the top 8% is the only way you win,
you lose.
You're going to lose. That's dumb.
I just was listening to some obesity researchers today, and they were talking about step 1, create an environment where you can at least attempt to be successful. Get the junk out of your house.
Yeah.
Right? You can't have it all there and say, I'm going to make good choices, because you're not going to make good choices.
James Clear talks about that in Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
He talks about the exact same thing. What is it? You're trying to create a habit, then don't put stuff that's contrary to the habit right in front of you. The opposite of paying the mortgage off early, another autopilot, is the 401ks. That's why they're so successful. You never see the money. It just comes out of your check automatically. Or an auto draft on your checking account for your Roth IRAs or your kids' 529. You're an automatic investor. And David Bach had a best-selling book, The Automatic Millionaire, or whatever it was called. And he said, just put everything on automatic. And you know what? There's something to that. And so quit thinking you're have superpowers just to get to buy crap you can't afford. It's a bad idea. It's a competitive home buying market, but there's a way you can get an edge. Churchill Mortgage works with you to understand your budget and your goals. And the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge offers you fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus, Churchill has bumped up their seller guarantee to $10,000, giving your offer the best chance of being accepted and helping you win in today's market. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. One of the things we are doing today and this week is we're talking about the importance of insurance. The subject no one likes to talk about. Everybody say it with me. Insurance sucks until you need it, right? And then it doesn't. And then when you got it and you need it, it's like the right kind and you did the right thing. But it's confusing. Too many people buy the wrong stuff. They spend the wrong money on the wrong things. But insurance is a huge blessing because people that build wealth not only play offense, they also play defense. And insurance is the defense side. And so in honor of this insurance week here, we're talking about the Confidence in Your Coverage program that George Camel put out with our Ramsey Trusted people, and all the details on your insurance. It's really good stuff. Donna is on the line. Donna's in Pensacola, Florida. So, Donna, talk about insurance and the importance of it in your life. Donna? Donna?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Hey,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Talk about insurance and the importance of it in your situation.
So I wanted to speak specifically to insurance and life insurance with second marriages.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people out there with second marriages, and it adds in some factors that maybe you hadn't thought about before. So what happened in my situation was my husband passed away 2 years ago, and when I contacted the department at his work for life insurance, it turns out they never got his change of beneficiary form. So when we both got married, we both filled out the change of beneficiary forms, and we sent them in, and apparently they got mine and didn't get his. So all of his life insurance went to his ex-wife, who, hated him and didn't want to have anything to do with him. And so we had no idea. We were married for 3 years. We had no idea that they never received that document. And we could have known because they send you back a copy that they received it. We never followed up to check on it. Another thing that happened was when you retire or die, you get paid for your unused vacation time and unused sick leave. They're considered separate leave. And one of them has a beneficiary form and the other one doesn't. Well, he'd worked there for 30 years. So, back when he was 18, he had signed a beneficiary form for whichever one has one and totally forgot that even existed because it's not like a huge amount of money like life insurance is. So it turns out he didn't change that beneficiary form, so it went to somebody else. And then I got the other one.
Would it go back to like his parents or something, or?
No, he was married for a short time back when he was 18, so it probably went back to that wife.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. And then
this sucks. All the ex-wives got
yeah.
money.
All the ex-wives got money. Well, I got the TSP, but the life insurance, I think, was higher at that point in time. And another thing that I came across, and I don't know which this is from. I don't know if it's from his military time or from a life insurance policy or what it was from, but there was somebody who, before they would distribute funds, I had to come up with the marriage dates and divorce dates of the previous spouses. So he'd been married a short time when he was very young, when he was in the military, and then he'd been married for a long time for a second marriage, and I was the third. So I looked through all his forms and I found all that and had it. But I called up, people that I knew that were on a second marriage. I'm like,
I guess because they were trying
married,
to prove that he wasn't married to more than one person.
Yes, they wanted to make sure that he really was divorced from previous marriages.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are all things that I'm recommending that people look into. Don't just assume you've got all your details in order.
So when you went through the Confidence in Your Coverage series, is that the kind of thing that jumped out to you, or did you pick up something else?
The thing that jumped out to me in that, because I had been listening intently for a few years, and so I had, background on almost everything. But one thing that jumped out to me in the little questionnaire that you take yourself was about long-term care insurance. and I'm 57, so I'm not 60 yet, but it caused me to check into it because I have a diagnosis that I thought might make me ineligible, and it did. So it just, it's a kidney disease. It doesn't affect my life. I'm totally healthy. I just have to get my blood checked every year to make sure it isn't progressing. So I don't think about it a lot, but it's enough to make me ineligible for long-term care insurance. I wouldn't be able to get life insurance now, things like that, that if you get a diagnosis, and I've had the diagnosis for 20 years, so if you get it when you're younger and you find out you're ineligible later for these things, you need to go ahead and build up your nest egg and be prepared for those kinds of expenses.
For real.
So it sounds like what you're mentioning here it goes back to one word that I just keep hearing over and over as you're talking, and that's this idea of being highly intentional about the hard conversations. There is a chance, no matter how small, that something may happen to one of you, and we need to make sure all of our ducks in a row, and we need to make that extra phone call at work, sit down with our insurance agent, and make sure we're covered. Make sure these things are in order so that if the unthinkable happens, which in your case it did, we're covered. Everybody's on the same page.
He was 49 when he drowned in the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow.
So if you think, I'll check into it when I'm older, don't check into it when you're older. When it comes to second marriages, there's so many other things to think. Another thing to think about is the relationship your spouse has with your own kids. Because you need to think, when you get married a second time, you need to think, okay, yes, our life insurance policies are mirrored. They say the same thing. Everything will go to our kids. But that's only if you die at the same time. If one of you dies first and the person who survives doesn't have a relationship with your kids and everything is going to your spouse that you love and that you chose, and then later on they die, everything goes to their kids and your kids get nothing. You might want some stuff to go to your kids when you die because your spouse may live longer and your spouse may marry somebody else. And then their kids, part you don't even know gets everything. And then your kids and your spouse's kids don't get any of it. So
it gets super complicated to do a will and to do the beneficiaries and everything. Yeah.
Right.
And thinking through not necessarily the first movement, the first rhythm, if something happens, but the second one is the one that's hard to anticipate. Yeah.
Yeah, because all the beneficiary forms I've seen say, if you fill this out, then boom, that person gets it, whatever you want happens. If you don't fill it out, then the system has to go through the process of figuring out who really gets it. And if it's your first marriage, it's going to be the spouse. If you're your second marriage, holy cow, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. Wow. That's good insight, Donna. Thank you for sharing all that. Wow. Pretty important. Crazy stuff. Well, you can go to RamseySolutions.com and check out the Confidence in Your Coverage series. There is a 5-part series there. They're all very short. They're all very fun and funny because it is George Camel after all. And RamseySolutions.com/confidence. It is a free 5-day video guide to walk you through the different kinds of insurance. And Donna's insights are really valuable there. And you know, the thing is, John, these aren't things, right? Doing a will, making sure your beneficiaries are right, making sure the name on your mutual fund account is changed, all those kinds of things are, none of this is like sit down and have fun.
No.
This is not like I get to do the most fun thing this weekend. I'm working on this crap.
Right.
But it you know, when you've got all that in order, that is one way you are saying to your wife, your husband, your kids, I love you.
I love you. Yeah. Even when I'm not here, I love you.
Yeah, it's that level of diligence. And by the way, it is the difference in poor people and rich people often. Wealthy people do this kind of stuff. People who, well, having money doesn't matter. Well, it's kind of a correlation there. You know, do the intentional, diligent thing. Take care of the little things, and the big things tend to take care of themselves. This is the Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. A whole bunch of folks visiting us today. Thank you for visiting us, guys. By the way, if you're ever in the Franklin, Tennessee, south of Nashville area and want to stop by, it is a free visit to the Ramsey complex, including the visitor center here in the lobby. And you can watch the show. We tape the show every day from 1 to 4, or we do the show live. It is also simultaneously taped from 1 to 4. Central every day. And in the middle of that lobby is the debt-free stage. On that stage is Jonathan and Amy. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Watkins Glen, New York.
All right. Cool. Welcome to Nashville. How much
you.
debt have you paid off?
$102,000.
All right. How long did this take?
4 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
60 to 75,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a teaching assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I was a vehicle purchaser for a scrapyard, and I currently am a teaching assistant now.
Oh, okay. Both of you. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Cool. So what kind of debt was the $102,000?
A lot of things. It was credit card debt, personal loans, family loans. We owed some library money.
We owed everything.
The library.
Yeah.
It's like one of those dreams you have in the middle of the night that you forgot from 30 years
When
ago.
you're in Hawk to the
Yeah.
library, that's knowing you're not doing well.
It's pretty bad. It's actually really bad when you don't have money to buy a coffee, and then you're like, let's just transfer money over. And yeah, it's cool. It's all good.
So you were normal.
Pretty normal.
Yeah. Normal's no fun, and you decided to change 4 years ago. What caused you to do this Ramsey stuff? Tell us the story.
Well, so our church was doing a Ramsey.
Financial
The
Peace
Thank
University.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
It's
really
okay.
nervous.
No trouble.
But so I mean, really, they were the catalyst. Higher Hope in Big Flats, New York, was like the huge catalyst to it. I thought we were fine. Honest to God, I just thought credit cards were just normal, and
they are.
we pay them when we can.
When we want to.
Exactly. So my husband was super nerdy and really wanted to get into this, and I was very reluctant. And I said, let's just try it. Let's look at everything, kind of try it. It was a little Ramsey-ish. Through the course, I was kicking and screaming.
Oh, okay.
But then I really got on board, especially when we started seeing the little wins. It was so big for us. He was a great big support. I mean, he kind of just, I don't know, the whole time you were just not harsh, but kind of real. But it was really good. I don't know, we saw our girls kind of prospering. I had never seen money talk. He hadn't either. But the girls, I mean, they play your show every Saturday on Alexa. They say, Alexa, play the Ramsey Show, and we listen to it. So that's our why. That's our huge why.
Very cool.
It's awesome. So, and they love knowing that they can plan for the future. I mean, and they're 7 and 10. So
I love it.
It's awesome.
It's very good. So you kicked and screamed all the way through the course, or up until the last one, or all the way through, and really he won you over simply by causing the money to start winning?
Okay, so I would say it was about 2 weeks in, we started making friends. We went through a live course, so it was really nice to see other people kind of going through the same struggles, and the same kind of, I don't know, tantrum moments that I had.
It takes some of the shame away from the process.
It does.
Yeah. You're all going through the same thing.
Yeah. And then we actually, like, I don't know, about 3 in, I kind of, it all clicked and we were starting to pay off more and it was doing really good. And we had our emergency fund and it was really, and then we taught it at our church. So,
whoa, you went all the way.
We did. It was full circle. But I kind of hoped I, like, let the shame, like, my hair straightener broke one time and I was like, guys, I'm not buying it. It's not my budget. So this is what you have to look at this week. I'm really sorry.
And you hold on. This is important. And you survived?
I did.
Hey, more importantly, did the rods and cones in there, did they survive too?
Yeah, everything was great. Everything was great.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like weird to be weird, but it feels even better now to be weird. So
Jonathan, what was it like dragging like a hurricane through this process?
It wasn't that bad. We were together, but she just had struggles, and it was good. It was really
a wise answer, man. Wise answer.
You're a good man,
That's
Jonathan.
right.
Well done, you guys. All right.
you.
So, what do you tell people now that you're coordinators? Now that you paid off $102,000, you're actual professionals now. What do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
Doing the budget. You just got to start somewhere and keep
budget's
going.
huge. It's huge. It is your guideline. It's your everything. I mean, it's neither one or the other telling each other you can't do it. It's literally there on paper. So.
I mean, Amy's talking like a real free spirit, but a real free spirit who had a vote.
I did.
You had control in this. You weren't. Jonathan wasn't telling you what to do. Both of you are voting, and you're agreeing, and like two grown-ups, this is where we're going, and this is the price we're going to pay. If you live like no one else later, you can live and give like no one else.
Absolutely.
And you said something powerful. You shift the blame to this piece of paper. And so I don't hate Jonathan for saying no. We can grit our teeth at this budget, right? But the budget said.
Yes.
It was the
Very
budget.
Cool. What was your favorite altercation? What was the thing?
Biggest fight
you had?
Okay, so
He remembers his, but you go ahead and answer. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so you have your fund money, and I decided to grow my fund money by selling like thrifted items and stuff. And my husband said, "Well, you can't do that. That's your fund money. It can't grow because you've got to pay off your debt or our debt together." And
Well, she wanted to take her money and like invest it and then keep her extra money.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the program here. Yeah. Yeah.
it was a kicking and screaming moment in the very beginning. You
I
have to
love
give some
it.
grace.
I love it.
So yeah, that was big.
Jonathan, you guys, you're perfect for each other. I mean, y'all, like, you make his life fun. This is great.
I mean,
This
we
is
try.
great.
And he makes sure there's water coming out of the faucet every month.
Yeah, it's true. You guys got us down.
Yeah, you guys are all right.
That's
This is
fantastic.
great. This is y'all are a perfect couple. This is great. So well done. I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be free?
Feels
Amazing.
awesome. Our marriage is way better than anything I could have imagined.
That's why I could take the different job too as a job switch because I've been in the same job for 12 years and then we got that free. I'm like, we can make some choices.
He's going back to school to be a teacher. So,
Good.
He's living out his dream too. And that's really cool.
That's very cool.
That's incredible.
And that wasn't going to happen as long as you just kept swimming in credit card debt. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's no way.
You guys are powerful. Well done.
Thank you for going to be a teacher, man.
Yeah. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. We need good people teaching.
He's pretty good at being a TA, so he'll be a really good teacher.
Amen. Good stuff. All right, you brought the kiddos with you. What are their names and ages?
Eliza is 10 and Marlena is 7.
All right, very good. Well, we've got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book for you because that's the next chapter in your story for sure. I mean, from kicking and screaming to coordinating, we're going all the way through the whole thing. I like it. That's the best kind right there. And we've also got a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give to somebody in one of your classes, and we'll give you a 1-year subscription to Financial Peace University. You can find somebody that needs to go through the class when you're leading it and help them out doing that.
Thank you.
Of course, that comes with the Every Dollar Premium. And this is the brand new lessons that just came out.
Awesome.
The brand new videos just came out. So make sure you're jumping in there and getting all that done when you're coordinating. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much. You're incredible. I'm so proud of you. You're rock stars.
Thank you.
What heroes. Took care of your life, man. Jonathan, Amy, Eliza, and Marlena. Watkins Glen, New York. $102,000 paid off in 4 years, making $60,000 to $75,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2,
2,
1.
We're debt free.
Yes, sir. This is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Powerful. Powerful. Good stuff. Good stuff. Grown-ups being grown-ups. It's a good thing in America.
Raising grown-ups.
Yeah, raising another batch of grown-ups. It's really good. This is the Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Sierra is with us in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Sierra. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
We just completed baby steps 2 through 4, and we have approached baby steps 5, but my husband and I have a disagreement when it comes to saving for your kids' college fund. I'm all for it, and my husband is against it.
Against saving for your kids' college?
Yes. Correct.
He does not think he should pay for his kids' college or anything having to do with it.
Correct.
How come?
So we both went to college, got our bachelor's degree. My husband, about 4 years ago, ended his career and switched into a trade. The trade, by far, in 2 years, he was making what he was making doing his college career job. And he thinks that college is like a waste of money now that he's been in a trade. And he also believes that my son, or our son, I should say, will appreciate money more, which I disagree, if he has to pay for it himself. So, and also, in addition, I don't know how long it will be, but the union has started a program where they pay 100% of the college, but the degree options are limited at this point. So there's that kind of ball in the court, too, as well.
Okay. Well, I paid for all 3 of my children's college education, and it had nothing to do, that did not cause them to not have an appreciation for the dollar. All 3 of them understand work ethic. All 3 of them understand the value of a dollar. And so your husband's full of crap on that subject. I have proof otherwise. Now, I understand because I come from the same I'm cut out of the same cloth he's cut out of. He believes in hard work. He believes in earning your way, and he believes it's good for your kid to build those muscles of self-reliance and destiny and control. I agree with all that. And I've got a friend who's a NFL football player, ex-NFL football player who grew up blue-collar dad that was a dock worker. And his dad said they're not paying for nothing. He went to school on a scholarship playing football and then went on into the NFL. And he refused in the NFL, making NFL money to save anything for his kids' college. So, but the idea that the only way your child learns the value of a dollar is to make sure they have no dollars is bullcrap. Okay, but I do understand his line of thinking, so I don't disagree with. I understand how he got there. He's just wrong. Okay, so you can teach a kid the value of a dollar. You can teach them hard work, even if they come from a family of means, even if they come where they have a college fund. And you can actually hold it over their head to make sure that they learn these things, And the other thing I would just say is the other place I do agree with him that the trades are oftentimes a better option than a stupid butt degree that is nuanced and has absolutely no application in the real world. I'm going to get a degree in German polka history and left-handed puppetry and then bitch and moan because society owes me something while I'm a barista. That's just dumb, okay? And that happens all the time out there. And I agree with him that we're not going to salute that stupidity either. But to say that all kids don't need a 4-year education is ludicrous.
It's nonsense. So let me tell you this. My grandma, smoked when she was younger. When she passed away, she did not pass away from lung cancer. That doesn't mean that lung cancer doesn't give you, or smoking doesn't give you cancer. I think we've proven equivocally that smoking increases cancer rates exponentially. Just because your husband got a 4-year degree and has found more success in a trade doesn't mean that all people who get 4 years degrees are dumber than people who go to trades. It's just not how it works.
Nor does it mean the opposite.
Nor does it mean the opposite.
That if you go to a trade and don't go get a 4-year degree, you're dumb.
Right.
Because there's some people need to do that too. We need people in the trades. We need people
Yes.
but to not have a money allocated to cause the future success of your child, whether it's a certification as a diesel mechanic and pay for that, or whether it's a 4-year degree in business and pay for that, you're giving your kids options when you do that. When you have no money set aside, you took away a lot of the options.
That's right. And I've got several friends who had assistance with financial assistance. My family wasn't in a position to do that. And I will tell you, we are the same age, and we all equally work really hard. And their ability to do some things early on when it came to investing, when it came to home buying that I wasn't able to do has accelerated their wealth building because they had options. And so I'm like Dave. My kids will know how to work hard. They will know how to grind and hustle and what a dollar means. And Lord willing, if I'm able to help them pay for their college education or their trades, I'm gonna make every effort possible to make that happen.
Yeah, and so here's the thing: 100% of the humans out there, unless they have a mental disability, need some kind of education post high school to be financially successful. It's not 100% necessary, but it's 98% necessary. You really don't take a single thing after high school, you are behind the curve. And so you need to go get certifications in Microsoft and go into technology at the local community college or tech college. That's fine. That's going into a trade. You go be a diesel mechanic. That's fine. Be a welder. That's fine.
Get your real estate license.
Get your real estate license. That's fine. But continuing education throughout your life is the path of successful people. We have people that come in here, they're 40 years old and applying for a leadership role in there, and I ask them what book they've read, and they can't remember one. Well, they're disqualified. You know, right. You don't get to come in here and be a leader. You're not learning anything new. You always are learning. And so you always want to encourage learning is a continual process. We love books, we love reading, we love learning, but we respect your ability to go into the military. We respect your ability to go into a trade. And those are fine career paths. And the higher education communities look down their nose at them for too long. So I agree with lifting those up. Mike Rowe is a good friend of mine. We're in agreement about that. Dirty jobs guy, and so he's got a whole movement on the trades thing, but he's not against college. He's got a degree, and this is Mr. Dirty Jobs, for God's sakes, and so all of that to say, I understand completely and agree with why your husband is saying what he's saying, but I think he's taking a wrong track.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you put the money aside. Money for future learning will never go to waste.
Exactly.
It's always the best
and
investment.
Build a culture in your house of hard work and future learning.
That's right.
You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be reading. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be reading. I was telling the story to our team yesterday. We've adopted a school here at Ramsey that was my old elementary school. And we were able to go in several years ago and rebuild the library, and in the honor of my old principal out of our family foundation. Now our company is adopting this and coming around these 83 teachers and trying to help them, because these poor teachers, man, it's just ridiculous out there. Anyway, but when they're showing that video of that library, I started crying.
I had to walk out, Dave. I walked out because I was crying. Like, it came over.
And it's just like, because that library is where I learned to read. Mm-hmm. I came out of the first grade and the second grade not knowing how to read.
Yeah. And
my second grade teacher, bless her heart, didn't know how to teach, and that she worked 1 year, and those hillbilly kids drove her out of business. And so, but then so I go in the third grade reading on a first grade level, and Miss Mary Jane Hurt taught me to read. And by the time I go out of the fourth grade, I'm reading on a sixth grade level. So that little library, and I've had 7 #1 best-selling books, sold 25 million books that I wrote. Okay, that doesn't happen unless you read a lot.
Yeah,
that goes with the territory. So learning is a good thing. Learning is a good thing. So I love guys like your husband, though, Sierra. I almost could get on his side on this, except he's wrong.
He's wrong. Yeah.
Thanks for the call. Open phones at 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. We'll take your calls about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. If you've never tuned into the new Dr. John Deloney Show, it is wildly popular on podcasts, one of the fastest-growing properties on the Ramsey Networks right now. You can call in there with questions about mental health issues and boundaries and relatives and kids and marriage, and boy, there's some fun stuff on there, and some of it's just crazier than a bean.
There's some stuff on there.
I love listening to this show, but man, there's some wacky butt stuff coming in on the phone lines.
There's some stuff, man. People are going through it.
People have some stuff. Some people's kids. I mean, it's amazing.
Some people's kids. That's the name of the book. Some people's kids.
Some people's kids. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's but I mean it's there's a lot of pain, but there's also a lot of resolution, a lot of hope, because you do walk through. I mean, psychology and mental wellness, mental health is such a taboo subject, because if you label yourself with one of the disorders, or someone labels you with one of the disorders, or you accept that as your identity, worse yet, or you just decide that's crazy, and you just start calling something crazy, and it's like all of a sudden it falls off into a whole different bucket of life.
It just goes into a black box, and
but there's so many things though that people can do that are really common sense things in that world that you can that you teach and that you believe. And man, I get a lot out of listening to it. Thank you. It's a good show.
I appreciate that. It's very similar to money. It's just become overcomplicated and over-professionalized and over-discussed. And there are some times that there are some very, very complex issues. Most of the time, most of us need to head towards simplicity.
Yeah,
and do some things different.
A little common sense here, and like, no, you can't act like that around me anymore.
I'm not going to accept that.
There's that. Yeah,
and I
don't do that.
I'm going to leave. Right, I'm going to choose to do something different.
People that do you. Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah. That's you're gonna have to get a little distance, like about a county or two between us here.
Yes,
it's not gonna work.
Yep.
It's interesting, man. You're gonna rage. I don't do raging. You're gonna bully. I don't do bullying. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Check out the Dr. John Deloney Show at RamseySolutions.com. You can get the phone number. The phone number, you know it off the top of your head?
Nope. 693-3291.
Come on, Kelly, help us out here. She's just looking at us, daring us to not know it.
Just go to the email.
Okay.
JohnDeloney.com/ask. ASK.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. And then you can, then Kelly will.
I've got your 888-825-5225. I got your number memorized.
Our
number.
Our number.
I got the Ramsey Show number memorized.
Okay. All right, good. We got that down. Okay. We've solved all of these issues. Now you can call the Dr. John Deloney Show and solve the rest of them.
Call this show for numbers questions.
Because we don't know any of them. Mahmood is with us in Phoenix. Hey, Mahmood, what's up?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Great, man. How can we help?
Well, so I started investing in, let's say, May 2020. So that's after COVID-19 slump in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And back then I was living in a different country, and I used to have an apartment that I used to live in without paying anything. And so my investment grew from $100,000 to $180,000 in terms of my original investment. In the process, in 2021, I ended up moving to the United States, and I got my first lease end of last year. And I came here with the intention, let's say, to buy property. So I had around, let's say, $120,000 in cash to use for a down payment. During that period of time, the housing market and the rental market has gone up extremely high. And
particularly in Phoenix.
Yes, exactly. And at this time, the stock market is not doing well. And I'm finding myself at let's say, a point where I have to make a decision whether, let's say, to pull all the cash that I have in the stock market to use either as a down payment or to pay as much cash as possible for a property. As things stand, we're renting. And so I'm finding myself at a point where, like, either, like, my rent is going to go up by a certain percentage point, which might,
Well, here's the problem. You're in a hot rental market and you're in a hot housing market in Phoenix. No pun intended. It's 110 degrees there right now. But, so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, in a sense, right? So you're going to pay some money out for housing, period, to live in Phoenix right now. It is it's not a down market by any stretch of the imagination, nor is it going to be anytime soon. So.
So one thing to add here probably is I'm open to the idea probably to relocate it to a little bit of an affordable market at this time in terms of housing.
Okay.
But as things stand, like the renting market and the housing market here, as you mentioned, it's like
it's just white hot. I mean, it's a wonderful market in terms of the economy. It's just booming, and so but it is making housing rough. So anyway, wherever you're going to live, take your time, not 2 years, but not 2 days. Don't get house fever and get all hot and bothered and pay too much for something. So go take your time, analyze the market, the place, the neighborhood you're looking at, work with a good real estate agent that knows their stuff, and don't overpay. Don't overpay. And so,
and don't pull your money out of the market.
Well, I would to buy the house. I would.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, it's not in.
It's not retirement money.
It's not in a retirement account.
All right, Mahmood, don't listen to me.
It's not in a retirement account, right?
It's not. So I'm just starting.
Yeah, I'm going to use all the money I can get my hands on to do this deal. Then the cash and the stock and the money you got in the stock market. And I know the market's down. It's not a great time to pull your money out, but it to John's point. But right now, what I'm trying to do is just get you a house and then get it paid off as fast as you can. You have an ability to make money. You always have, and you probably will continue to make good money, and you'll be able to work your way right through this. So you're going to take some losses probably on that stock market account, but that's not the end of the world. Go buy you a house and get you a good deal. But go slow. Don't get crazy. Don't get caught up in the hype, because the hype is about over. It's kind of slowed down out there a little bit in a lot of places. Now, not Phoenix. Phoenix is booming, but you and I had a friend the other day that bought a house, and the guy had it overpriced because he thought he was going to get one of these California suckerfish coming in here to buy stuff, and that's what we call you California people that overpay for stuff. And so, but the
got a good deal on it.
But the guy, no, it wasn't. He bought it for market price.
Oh, we have another friend.
Same guy. No, he bought it for appraisal. But 60,000 under asking, because the guy was fishing for suckerfish. He was looking for a sucker, and he was overpriced. And our guy just said no. And it had been on the market 3 whole days, so the seller panicked and gave it away. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
We are highlighting some discussions on insurance today. We're big on talking about the importance of insurance. Matt is with us in Greenville, South Carolina. Matt, talk about how insurance has impacted your life.
Hey, how are you guys doing over there today?
Great, man. How are you?
Doing absolutely awesome. So it was around July of 2020 when I was in a car accident, and thankfully, because of the coverage that we got through the coverage of an ELP, I was able to have not only money from the company, but also from our emergency fund to be able to replace that car within a couple of months. But the funny part is,
it's a weird time to be buying a car, wasn't it?
Yeah. But
summer of 2020. Ugh.
Yeah, tell me about it. But the funny thing was, like, not even 6 months later, my wife was in a car accident, and so we had to go through the whole process again.
No way.
No, I am not kidding you. And it was one of those just after we had recovered from that. Now we got to go back to the emergency fund again to take care of that, along with what we got from the insurance company. But thankfully, we were able to replace that. And by the summer of 21, we were actually able to finish building our emergency fund, and now we're saving for a house.
Very good. So you have a heightened awareness about all this insurance stuff for sure then, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So what do you tell somebody when they act like they don't need to worry about insurance? Because you're like a walking claim.
Yeah. It's not a matter of if it happens to you, it's when it happens to you. So I know it'll sound like a big expense and then one of those things that's just kind of, ugh. But when it happens to you, you'll be glad that you have it.
Amen. Amen. So you went through the Confidence in Your Coverage series with George Camel, right?
Yes, I did. Excellent. He did excellent on that, by the way.
He did. I thought it was really good. It was funny and fun and informative, and it was short. It didn't choke you down too much. So what was the biggest thing you got out of that?
Just the urgency to get this stuff done now. It's not, one thing I tell people: don't think about it as part of the baby steps. Just take care of it as soon as you can.
That's exactly right. I agree with that completely. Well, Matt, thank you for sharing all that. That's actually great input. Very, very good stuff. So if you want to see this 5-video series, Confidence in Your Coverage, you can go to RamseySolutions.com/confidence, and it is a free 5-video guide on insurance. It is short, it is fun, it is funny, and it is informative. So it's not too painful. George makes a pretty yucky subject entertaining, as often George does. So check it all out, RamseySolutions.com/confidence. Oh, by the way, it's completely free. Brian's in Omaha, Nebraska. Hey, Brian, welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
So my question is, well, I guess there should be a little bit of backstory. Me, my girlfriend, and my 6-month-old, we moved out of the apartment that we were staying at. They were raising the rent on us, and then her parents decided to let us stay at their house until we were able to save enough money to either buy a house or rent another house or apartment. And basically, I feel kind of horrible for doing that. I don't feel like as good as I should, because I know saving up is what we need to do, and I know I have some debt to pay off. So I want to use the opportunity to actually save and pay off as much debt as possible before the 6 months to a year is up that they had allowed us to stay. But I mean, I guess one of my questions is that the right thing that I did, or should I have just kind of manned up and try to pay the extra money that they were charging? And then also, I mean, what's the next step here? Because I know paying the debt off is a big one, but it just doesn't feel like I can do it in the amount of time that I'm being given.
So let me jump in. Number one, paying an accelerated rent rate has nothing to do with manhood. Uncouple those. Number two, why do you feel awful? You said you feel awful.
I've always been that type of person to never accept help. So
okay,
you feel like a charity case.
You feel like you're failing your wife and your kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are you?
26.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a mechanic for a dealership.
Cool. What do you make?
I haven't completed a full year, so I know I get paid about $2,800 a month. I think over a year it'd be $45,000.
Yeah, sounds right. And after you've completed your year, does your income go up?
I am not entirely sure about that. I know after like 6 months it did come up pretty good. But after a year, I believe it should. I just don't know how much.
Are you ASI?
ASE, no. I have a couple ASEs done, but not completely certified. I guess that counts. And then the dealership that I work for, they have their own training that they want you to complete.
Does your wife work outside the home?
She doesn't. We haven't been able to afford like daycare, so she stays at home.
Well, if she made $100,000 a year, you could afford it. Why? What does she do?
Well, she doesn't work.
I know. Why? Does she have a degree?
No, she's in school right now. Like I said, I'm 26, but she's 20, and she's going for sociology.
So, Brian, I'll just take a page out of my own story. I took on the burden of the student loan debt between me and my wife. I had about 6 figures. We did together. And ultimately, we sold our house, and I moved us at my insistence, and she went along with it into a residence hall, a dorm, with a 2-year-old. And I felt like a loser, and I felt like a failure. And I looked at the math, and I came to terms with the fact that the single most quote-unquote manly thing I could do would be to have a really hard year. An uncomfortable 18 months. And in that 18 months, we didn't spend anything, and we paid off 6 figures in a very short amount of time. I took extra jobs. I worked like crazy. And in retrospect, I can't think of a better thing I did to stop the madness, stop the sunk cost, stop dumping money into my pride and ego, and to stop and say, I need help. And the help came through this area, right? And then we got to work and then put a period at the end of that sentence and moved on. Asking, should you have moved, is you've already moved. So asking yourself that question is a waste of energy. Asking yourself, should you move again? Maybe. That may be another question to ask. But going back and saying and debating that decision, you've already made it, man. Let that roll off. Don't carry that sucker around with you.
How much debt do you have?
I have about $6,000 in credit cards, $500 in school loans, $17 in car payments, and then
who has the $17,000 car? You or your wife?
I do. It's the only reliable car we have, but right now I know that it's got some hail damage that is getting repaired. As soon as that gets repaired, I know I'm going to try and get rid of it as soon as possible.
Yeah, good. And get you a hoopty and get yourself out of debt. It's a good time to be selling a used car. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't know how mature emotionally your 20-year-old wife is, but she needs to make some income. Even if it's working from home, even if it's selling stuff on eBay, she needs to get off her butt. And you need to get off your butt and figure out what your income is and how you can go make more. You don't even know what you make for sure. And you don't know what your promotion process is. You need to go get some money, both of you, and get this mess cleaned up and get your autonomy back and get your sustainability back. And when you get autonomous again on your own 2 feet, and both of you have a plan, you're going to be making some money and you're going to be winning again. But right now you're just wandering, living in your mama's basement, her mama's basement.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want, without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Jack and Brittany are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi there.
Good. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve. Welcome. Where do you live?
We live in Cypress, Texas, just north of Houston, Texas.
Very cool. Welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
All the way up here to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
We paid off $338,405.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How long did this take?
About 7 years and 10 months.
Good for you guys. I love it. And your range of income during that time?
We started about $107,000, and with a second job, we are now about 200, maybe a little over.
Good for you. What do you guys do for a living?
I work in the fire department as a firefighter, and my wife's a elementary school teacher.
Oh, cool. What grade do you teach?
3rd grade.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thanks for being there.
Thank you.
We need people like you out there right now. Good stuff. Well done. What kind of debt was this? $338,000 over 7 years. Is that the house?
It is, yeah. It is. It was a couple of small credit cards, some things we bought for that house, vehicle loans, and then, of course, last and not least, the mortgage. So.
I love it. Look at it, weird people. How old are you two?
I'm 36, and she turns 21 Thursday.
Thank you. I'll be 35 on Thursday.
Yeah.
Ah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Way to go. What's the house worth?
About $450,000, maybe more. 38 bids later, I don't know. But,
And you own it.
Yeah.
And you're not
Yes,
even
sir.
40. I love it. You guys are amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So 7 years ago, you're in your 20s, and you decide you're going to be weirdos and pay off your house before you're 40. Tell me about this story. How'd you get connected to Ramsey? How'd you start this process?
We were introduced to Financial Peace through my sister and brother-in-law. Started watching the videos and just made the decision that we were ready to change our lives.
Yeah. I'm a love math. I love numbers. So when we started looking at a bigger house as we grew our family, that started to scare me a bit. So I didn't really know if we could afford it and that kind of thing with growing the family and childcare, groceries, and going out to eat and all that stuff. So, that's kind of how we got connected. We haven't ever really been bad with money, more of just disorganized, if you can say that. So.
Okay. But going into Financial Peace, you just said game on.
Yeah,
Pretty
we
much.
did. We laid out the plan as you said it, and just went from there.
Yeah, the weird thing is that our data on people going through Financial Peace is they average paying off their home in about 7 years. The average millionaire pays off their home in 11 years, and the average millionaire listening to our stuff is 10.2 years. So that's actual hard data. The other stuff's anecdotal, but the earlier one. But you guys fit the mold exactly. So well done. You're well on your way to being millionaires then also. So how much is in your retirement accounts?
Well, with the recent downturn of the market, that put us just under.
So you were millionaires?
Yes. Yes.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as soon as the market turns back up a little, you will be again?
Yeah, we're just under the mark now.
Way to go, guys! And you're not even 40, baby step millionaires. Wow! I love it.
And I'm just a fireman, and I'm just a teacher. I could never make it.
Yeah. By the way, the number 3 occupation of people who become millionaires is teacher. And so
y'all are the fun ruiners. You're the excuse takers, man.
Yeah. And anybody who's out there whining, I teach 3rd grade. I'm a millionaire, but I'm 35.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How were you able to be a fireman without like a huge F-350 all jacked up and the $100,000 truck on payments? Were you able to make it, man?
Yes, it was tough.
They gave it to you, huh?
As we got further towards the end of our journey, our income is a lot. We're throwing a lot at the house, and new trucks right there driving into the station every single month.
It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts.
So it's rough.
And they let you have it too, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's their job.
They did.
Sure.
They did.
Yeah, they're not millionaires. They don't have a paid-for house.
That's true.
So you keep your dadgum truck. All right, I love it. That's just awesome, man. Wow, way to go. How's it feel?
It feels great.
Yeah.
It feels great.
You got to be a captain of your own destiny, man. I mean, you're incredible.
Yeah.
It does. This month, probably maybe a month or two ago, it's finally set in. We paid the house off January 24th, I believe. we really haven't had, January. We do a lot of dirt bike riding as a hobby. So I, of course, had a wreck, hurt my knee, had to repair the bike and things like that. And then AC went out in the house, of course, 2 months after we paid it off. So just things like that happened. So it wasn't until about April or May when we really started. We don't have any plans for this extra money now, that kind of thing. So
hey, imagine 10 years ago versus when your air conditioner went out this time. It was just annoying.
It was.
It was annoying.
Yes,
it wasn't.
Exactly right.
What are we going to do? You're not looking at two little boys saying, "What are we going to do?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's made the process so easy. And that's with anything. I mean, with gas going up to $5 a gallon, just about. I mean, it's just an inconvenience for us. Really, it doesn't stop us from doing what we enjoy. And we're still investing and saving and just cruising right along, giving. That's one thing that we've really noticed is huge.
Yeah, what we can give back.
Yeah,
it's fantastic, guys.
Very cool. Good for you guys.
Thank you.
Well done, well done. We're proud of you. All right, you brought the kiddos with you. What are their names and ages? Bring them up.
We have Trevor, who's 11, and Owen, that's 8.
All right. Very good. Good job. Good job. All right, what was the hardest part of this for you guys?
I mean, we didn't have very many arguments over it. We both were pretty, together on doing it. But that's, no real hard part except for just sticking with it, and waiting for that light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I was a numbers guy, so I wanted to throw just about every penny we had at debt, and then of course at the house. So, we had a few disagreements about what we put in the envelopes each week or each month. We do ours every week, but we had a few disagreements then. And she helped to work me, loosen up a little bit, and release some of that grocery money and fun money and things like that. So
absolutely. Well, you should while you're on baby steps 4 through 7.
Both those boys do have shoes on, so that's good.
Way to go, you guys. All right. What do you tell people the biggest key to getting out of debt is?
I think it's like the other debt-free scream said earlier, the budget and communication. When we started, we were writing it down, and now, we've kind of gone electronically, but communicating and having those discussions, being content with what you have. And I think it all comes back down to the budget, and we didn't stop spending. We just put it down on paper and organized it. And still did our snow trips, once we got out of our consumer debt, and still did some Disney trips and things like that. But
intentional.
But we just save for it. It took us a year to save for it, but we saved for it. And so.
And just making the money behave all the way.
That's it.
Ever go back in debt?
No, sir.
No, sir. Nope. No,
Not
sir.
even for an F-150.
I got close, and I don't know how much time we got left, but I got super close and almost made a mistake, a very small mistake, of taking another loan. And my wife and Brittany, she snapped me back real quick. So, but
I didn't save for a year for Disneyland for you to get an F-150.
That's right. I love it. Way to go, you guys. All right, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires, Financial Peace University, and Total Money Makeover for you. Count it down. $338,000, house and everything. Baby Steps Millionaires in 7 years, making 107 to 200. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
That's how it's done. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 50% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about life and about your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Max is with us in Salt Lake City. Hi, Max. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Afternoon, gentlemen. I appreciate you accepting my call.
Sure. What's up?
Yes, sir. So I'm a 50-year-old married male. Been married for about 7 years. I believe we could retire, but I'm not sure if we should.
Okay. What's the goal here? What's the goal? What do you want to do?
I guess that's the concern. We've been very fortunate. We've played by the rules. I've had a spreadsheet budget that each tab goes back all the way to 1999.
Wow.
And so I have, it's kind of like reading the rings on a tree. If you go to a certain tab, you can kind of see what happened in my life in that specific year. But we have 4 rental homes. We have one pension already secured, and we're receiving that each month. My wife works, and I also have another career now.
Mm-hmm.
We should get a second pension in 5 years when I'm 55 through the military.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess.
And what is your net worth?
Honestly, I don't know. When we account for our 4 rental homes, they are paid off.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a fifth wheel. We've lived in a fifth wheel for about 5 years now, so that we can have cash flow through the rentals. I would estimate probably $650,000 net
mm-hmm.
Net worth. And I guess the biggest concern, and you hit it on the nail on the head when you said, "What's the goal?" What I have found that for very long time now, I've always woken up and had a goal, had something I wanted to achieve, had something I wanted to, a medal I wanted to put on my chest or something I wanted to put on my wall. I never thought that 50 years old I would kind of be lost, because I don't know if we should go for a 5th home. I don't know if we should just call it good. We're making now 14.2 a month net. Our total expenditures each month outflow are about 2.3. And I kind of had this wild dream of I've been a private pilot since I was 18, so 32 years. And I was talking to my wife that maybe someday I can take about $35,000 and go after a instructor rating, and maybe I can do that part time until basically the FAA says I'm too old to do it. But then I don't think I'm going to make the return on the investment if I did that. I guess I'm just looking for something to wake up in the morning for. But the money's easy. The numbers are easy. But now that we're here, I don't know.
Yeah, I do want you to change gears, though, from doing your duty, because you're a man of honor who's always done his duty, to finding something that you make money doing while actually enjoying it. And I don't care if you make a lot of money, it wouldn't make me mad.
The challenge about the question.
Even if the return wasn't it?
The challenge about the question you're asking, Max, is you've ROI'd joy. You've put a spreadsheet to what matters, and you've spreadsheeted out relationships, you've spreadsheeted out excitement, you've spreadsheeted out happiness, you've spreadsheeted out joy. And it's very hard to capture those things a 10 key. And the challenge is you're asking a question, what can I go do? What can I go seek that's going to fill that gap inside of me? And that's going to come from the inside out, not the outside in. So the question Dave's asking you is a profound one. What do you want to do, man?
Yeah. And so here I'll give you a hint, okay? I'm going to send you Ken Coleman's career assessment and his new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, because what's missing here is purpose.
Yep.
And
Yes,
I'll give you a place to look. Find something where you're serving other people and making their life better that makes you smile. And then I want you to do that with great scale and go make $1 million doing that. Because you're only 50. You've still got 20 or 25 good, hard years of work that you can bring value to other people's lives. And by the way, if you do that in a proper way inside your skill set, they will give you, as my friend Rabbi Daniel Lappin says, certificates of appreciation with presidents' faces on them. When you serve others and make their life better, they are grateful. Just like when you have a great experience in a high-end white tablecloth restaurant, you are more than happy to say thank you to the person who served you by leaving an outrageous tip. And that's the way the economy should work, is when we serve each other, there's a transfer of wealth that results, and I want you to get that, because you've just been grinding.
On my notes here, Dave, as he was talking, you could see the word I wrote. I wrote the word service.
Oh.
I just wrote that word down as he was speaking. The only way out of this trap is to go be about making somebody else's life better.
And it doesn't have to be a nonprofit.
Nope.
You know, we can argue that Steve Jobs, like him or not, like Apple or not, made lots of people's lives better with these magic wands we carry around in our hands called phones that we can do anything with now, and became bazillionaires because they made a bunch of people's life better, and we can go on from there.
Or something as silly as, you were with me at a park maybe a month or two ago, and your wife and Henry Cloud had to peer pressure me into getting on a roller coaster because I'm terrified of heights. That's my thing. And the other day, you and I jumped out of an airplane together with a guy who...
With parachutes,
With
by the way.
parachutes, yes. We made it. But
otherwise we would have left our mark.
But somebody...
left it all on the field.
Served us laughter and joy and overcoming fears, and that dude was incredible, and he kept us safe, and he walked us through it. That's a service, as far as I'm. I mean, it was a thing. For
they were
me, right?
incredible.
Incredible.
The team, made skydiving not terrifying.
Yes, which is less than I can say about you pulling us on a tube behind your boat, right? But here's the deal.
I was trying to serve you, John.
Sir, you served me well.
You up to the water.
I'm about 18% lake water right now.
Yeah.
But service can look like a lot of different things. But it's going out and saying, where can I bring people joy? Where can I meet a need in the world that's not being met? And go do that thing for other people. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to help in this situation. So mathematically, you can do a lot of stuff. You've got some pensions, and you've got some margin, and you've got some net worth, and you've got time. I do think you need to change gears. Oh, I'll tell you the book you ought to read. I got it. It's called Halftime by Bob Buford. And Bob, the thesis of the book, for those of you that haven't read Halftime, it's an old book, but it's a great book, is that men, particularly males, when they reach halftime in the game, they go from acquisition to significance. And if you don't move from acquisition in the first half of your life to significance in the second half of your life, if you don't make that move, you're susceptible to midlife crises, blondes, and convertibles.
Wow.
And so you're going to find significance doing something. You're going to find excitement doing something in the second half. First half is just grind, and acquisition is fine. And by the way, the first half is not a chronological thing. It's an emotional thing. I did my halftime at 28 when I went broke. And so I reached the point after going broke, I don't give a crap what anybody thinks. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And I went to significance, which is this thing has been done for 30 years now, plus 30 plus years. So been on the air for 30 years. But but that's that whole movement. There's a movement there that's tied to the midlife crisis idea and all that kind of stuff. But, you're just having a chronologically a little bit later halftime. It doesn't mean you're emotionally stunted. That's not what I'm saying. But this guy, that we're talking to here, Max. But I think, hey, what's the next adventure?
Yeah.
Look for an adventure of service.
A man without a purpose is an untethered, scary, dangerous person. Go find a purpose, man.
Yeah.
Go serve.
Hang on, I'll have Austin pick up. We're going to send you a copy of that. Ken call all of Ken's materials and assessment and the book as well, From Paycheck to Purpose. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, mental health expert, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money and your life. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Lynn is with us in Rochester, New York. Hi, Lynn. How are you?
I'm great, Dave. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Okay. Well, when I said I was great, honestly, we have a crisis and we need your help solving. My husband was offered a job in North Carolina, and granted, it's only 15 cents more an hour, but what we would save in taxes and everything else would be astronomical. We put our home on the market. The real estate agent said that we should get $169,900 for it. Hopefully there would be a bidding war, but he said the market's kind of soft, so it might not happen. We found out that we have a lien on the home from past medical debt of $21,000, and we owe $120,000 on the home. So if our home goes for $169,900 after we pay the lien and pay the home off, we're going to net $7,000 to $10,000. And my question to you is, should we take it off the market and just hammer out the debt and then go forth with North Carolina?
What is the history on this $21,000 medical debt?
I was in a car accident 10 years ago, and we fought back and forth with the insurance to take care of it. They never did. And then I got ill with lupus and wasn't able to work, and my husband sole provider, so things got pushed off to the side, and that was one of them.
So the moral of the story is that ignoring things doesn't make them go away.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have a $21,000 medical debt that they finally sued you on and took a lien against your house on, but have never garnished your wages. And that lawsuit was how long ago?
Yeah.
How long ago?
How long ago
was the lawsuit?
Oh goodness, probably 5 years ago. They are garnishing his wages now.
I bet they are. Okay. When were you all planning on dealing with this?
Well, to be honest, because they were taking his wages, we're like, okay, because we're paying it, we just assumed it naively, I guess that's even a word, that...
What is your household income?
My husband makes about $70,000 with overtime.
Mm-hmm. And the move to North Carolina was prompted by what? What makes you want to go down there?
Just, we felt years ago God's calling us to North Carolina. We love the area, we love the people, and just life in general we feel would be better there. Because here in New York, the taxes are astronomical. I mean, we're paying...
Okay, here's the thing. If you sell your house, you get a fresh start, and you get rid of this mess that you haven't dealt with, and you get to move on with your life. That's a beautiful thing, okay? The only downside of that process is you probably could negotiate this $21,000 debt. You probably offer them $5 or $10. They probably take it as settlement in full. Do you have the ability to borrow any money?
No, we don't.
Could you go to your credit union and get $5,000 or $10,000?
We might be able to. My husband's credit isn't the greatest right now.
No kidding.
Because of the debt, right? I know, big surprise.
Yeah. Okay, so I would ask your credit union if there's any chance that they would loan you $5,000 or $10,000. Don't take the money. If they approve the loan, though, get that in writing, and then go to the lawyers that have done the lawsuit on the medical debt and see if you can settle this for a quarter or 50 cents on the dollar. If you can do that, that'll get the lien removed for less than $21,000, and then that would put a little more money in your pocket as you sell the house. If you want to go that route, you can. If you don't want to go that route, just sell your house. At least you'll be rid of the garnishment, and you will have gotten this from over the top of your head. But please, for God's sakes, learn the lesson from it. The lesson is this stuff doesn't go away unless you make it go away. It just gets worse. It's like a splinter under the skin.
That's very true.
Yeah, ignoring it, these things have a high rate of resurrection. They come back over and over and over and over again. And so you have to push that stuff through. And I'm fussing at both you and your husband for your own good, because I want you to prosper, and you're not going to prosper with that habit in place. So, yes, I'm selling your house. Yes, I'm going to try to settle that debt for less than the face of it is, because it is a 10-year-old medical debt, and they probably will take less on it. But maybe they won't now that they got a garnishment.
And also, by the time when you get to North Carolina, it may mean you have to rent for a year or two.
Yeah, you don't have any money.
Yeah, you can't come in here and just buy your dream house in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right.
And but 15 cents an hour raise with no income tax and no garnishment, that's bigger than bigger than 15 cent an hour raise.
You don't feel like you've won.
So yeah, you're going to come out ahead that way. So, and you get a fresh start, and you kind of get a different setting and everything. So I'm with you on the move overall, and that's what I would try to do. Megan is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Right. Well, I am just looking for some advice. So last October, I got a bill in the mail that I owed Verizon Wireless $4,000, and it ended up being a fraudulent bill. I have never had, or I had an account many, many, many years ago with them. I have in-place identity fraud protection. I worked with my team there in getting that all resolved. I thought we were all good with everything. I ended up buying a condo not too long ago, and so have been paying pretty close attention to my credit report. And I just got a message last week that I owed $4,600 to a collections agency.
Yeah.
And it's still...
You're going to have to go back to your identity theft protection again. That's what it's for, and they will have to work it through. That's the only way you can do it. There's not any way around it. That's the downside of this. The good news is if you have good identity theft protection like Xander Insurance, then they will do the work for you and fight these things off and push them aside. If you have bad, they make you do half the work. Thanks for joining us, America. We are so glad you're with us. We appreciate you. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Our question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. Neighborly's got 19 service brands nationwide and a network of local service pros. Molly Maid, Mr. Reuter Plumbing, and Lawn Pride, to name just a few. Visit neighborly.com to find available service providers near you.
All right, today's question comes from Amanda in Oregon. Amanda writes, my husband and I got married last May. At the time, I did not realize he had over $25,000 in credit card debt plus a personal loan. I also didn't directly ask him if he had a bunch of credit card debt, but we did have a conversation where he made it seem that we were on the same page. I have a little debt, a $5,000 credit card and $8,000 remaining on my car, and I've been working to get this debt paid off when I found out about his. At this point, do I keep snowballing my debt or now reconfigure everything and put my money towards his debt as well? Oh, Dave, this marriage is in trouble already. In trouble already. My friend Amanda, number one, you got to deal with the trust issue here. Sounds like y'all had a conversation and he heard what you had to say about it and he was dishonest by his silence. And second, yes, now that you know it's here, this idea that you're going to pay off your quote unquote little debt and he needs to pay off his big debt and you got to take your money and put it on his debt. Y'all are married. This is y'all's money paying off y'all's debt. This is something y'all do together. And that tells me that y'all are married and y'all are probably doing a decent job so far being roommates, but y'all are not all in together on this deal at all.
Yeah, it's very, very important that you combine your incomes and combine your debts and change your pronouns. You're now French. We. Us, our, not his, mine. And that's your best route out, and that's going to involve a commitment from him to extreme honesty from this point forward, and by you to clearly ask questions. And the two of you need to be on a written, detailed budget together where every dollar of your household income, the whole income coming into the house, is going to be spent on the Every Dollar app. And both of you see where every dollar is going before the month begins, and both of you are in agreement, and both of you stick to that. No secrets, no side jobs, no side issues. If there's side jobs, the money goes right in the top of the budget, just like everything else. But there's no little deal where you've got this secret target fund or he has a secret gun fund or whatever it is, right? I might have had a secret gun fund one time, but I don't.
They couldn't have that in Oregon. They'd have to have a high five
That's
fund.
it. Yeah, there's that. Okay.
But
Here's and we're going to be doing the marriage or the money and marriage getaway event
just for them,
here in Nashville. Yeah. It's October 19th and 21st. And guys, if you guys want to come to that, there's a few tickets left. Rachel and John are going to be doing a 3-day long event with some other outside speakers coming in. Very interesting lineup. And a lot of stuff covered on the money issue and on the marriage issues. And it's a whole Nashville weekend. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be everything from lessons on money and how to deal with conflict and sex and intimacy, the whole thing. We're not leaving any stone unturned. And we've done some preliminary calls with folks who've already bought their tickets and were part of the Platinum purchase that's sold out. But people aren't interested in having as much of a kumbaya experience as they want to get in and do some hard work. And we also have a lot of cool, fun Nashville things planned for the weekend, so it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, there's some good Nashville participation.
It's going to be a blast.
RamseySolutions.com/event for the money and marriage event. And in your case, Amanda, you guys are going to have to work really hard to get on the same page. And that's trust. And that trust is built by cooperation and spending together and lots of clear, no deception communication, and no deceiving by silence either. I think that's the worst kind. I mean, I almost rather you just lie to my face with your mouth than just sneak around.
Let me feel like in my heart we're on the same page.
Yeah, then just sneaky, like passive aggressive.
So in this kind of situation, I think the smartest thing to do would be both of y'all go pull your credit report and let's put them on the table and let's go top to bottom. And I think make Amanda feel better about what's actually out there because now she's got that little bit of doubt. That would make him, if he's just kind of a clueless, I don't know, then everybody can be on the same page.
Yeah,
and we can figure this out together.
You can't loaf your way through this now. You're going to have to deal with it, every dime of it. Yeah, that's the only shot you got. Because if you guys continue to half-butt do this relationship and half-butt do this money, neither one of them is going to work. And that's what you've been doing. All right, Elizabeth is with us in Cincinnati. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Well, first off, I love the book, and I loved meeting your daughter, Rachel, a couple of years ago.
Well, thank you.
And our oldest son is the one who introduced us to Dave Ramsey. And after we seen Rachel, we went home and we got busy.
Okay.
And me and my husband both will be turning 60 next month.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 7 children who are now all out the door.
Yay!
And and we have really worked really hard. And we were very late in starting 401ks. Once we started doing all of our savings, we had a couple of catastrophes in our house, which we had to do complete remodels, guts, bathroom and kitchen because of black mold. So it wasn't beautification. This was health issue. So goodbye savings. And at this point, we only have a house payment, 1 car payment with $1,600 left on it. And after COVID, my husband took a 10% cut in pay, lost his bonuses. And with the remodels that we had to do, I budget everything. I use spreadsheets. We use cash allowances. But I'm to the point now, my husband has turned over the finances to me, so I don't want to disappoint him. I want to keep him on the same track. So my question is, we are late getting our 401k, but we have $100,000. We owe $73,000 on our house. Our house will not be paid for until we're 72. And we have an $8,000 credit card bill because of some medical, because our savings was gone.
Do you have any savings that's not in the 401k?
We have $6,000.
Okay. Which book did you read?
The Total Money Makeover, and I've had to start over.
Yeah, you two both. Start over. Yeah, you need to both of you get the book out because number one, he turned the money over to me. No.
Well, I meet with him about
don't well me. No. Just
I agree
no.
with you.
No, the two of you need to sit down and make these decisions together. You don't get to carry this by yourself, superhero. You don't get that privilege. The two of you need to make these decisions and carry this weight
and
together.
He doesn't get to bow out like a coward and say, oh, whatever, he didn't get to do that either.
No. So what does he make?
He makes $113.
What do you make?
After our son passed away, I kind of checked out for a little bit, but then I ended up being the caretakers for 3 parents.
Are you still?
Yes, I am.
Are they paying you?
One of them does.
Good. Okay. So you need to get the book back out and start working back through the debt snowball. Leave your 401k alone. Get the stupid credit card paid off and the stupid car paid off, and then let's build an emergency fund, and then let's put 15% of our income away, and then let's start working on paying off the house. And both of you need to do everything you can to maximize your income, and I want you debt-free house and everything in 5 years. You can do that. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. All month long, we're giving away cash. You can win one of our $500 weekly prizes or the grand prize of $3,000. Enter daily at RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. While you're there, you can pre-order Dr. John Deloney's brand new book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. You'll learn the 6 daily choices to break free from a life spinning out of control. Plus, when you pre-order today for just $20, you get $75 worth of free bonus items. Helps John, helps you. Everybody gets a deal. I think everybody's winning. Building a non-anxious life. RamseySolutions.com/store. Ryan is in Birmingham. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man. So I just had a couple of questions for you. I recently have quit gambling, and I'm kind of in the hole right now, and I just need some advice.
What kind of gambling were you doing?
Specifically, double-deck blackjack and a fair amount of poker, Texas Hold'em.
Online?
No, sir. No, sir.
How much have you lost?
I'd say about a year ago, I had a 4-day stretch where I'd won and lost about 6 figures.
Okay. So you recently quit gambling. Tell me about that. What's that mean?
I'd say I haven't played cards in about 2 months. And my debt to income is great. I just keep putting myself in the same hole.
Yeah. So you quit. You've had a gambling problem, and you just decided I quit, and that's it. That's all
Yes,
you've
sir.
done.
So what'd you backfill that hole with?
Man, I am behind on rent. 3 car payments. I owe probably about $2,500 to friends of mine, and right now I'm just kind of living check to check.
But you quit gambling 60 days ago. So what?
6 months ago. You
6
said,
months
right?
ago. What have you done in the meantime that has continued to make your life problems so challenging?
Well, so I took a loan from a friend for about $10,000, and then I was paying him back payments after I'd lost that large sum of money, and so I've been kind of paying him back when I can. And then my student loans just hit. I've got about $84,000 worth of student loan debt.
What do you make?
So that's about probably around. I'd say I'm in sales, so I'd say this year I'm on track to make about $150,000.
Okay. And you're single?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 22.
What have you?
Have you been going to Gamblers Anonymous,
Yeah.
or are you seeing a therapist or anything?
I had my first meeting with a counselor, a Christian counselor, Wednesday.
Good
and
for
I have
you.
Another meeting next week.
I'm proud of you, man.
Okay, good.
I appreciate it.
That's
And
what
it's
that's
kinda
what I was
hard
worried about.
because-
Okay, good.
Yeah, my dad, he's a pastor, and man, he acts like he doesn't have 2 dimes to rub together. But I mean, he'll definitely retire a millionaire for sure. And it's hard to talk about my finances with him because he'd be so angry with me. And so I kind of just accepted the fact that I needed help, and
good.
I'm upset with myself. So time to make some changes for sure.
An important part of getting well is finding. This word gets thrown around culturally, so I don't mean in the never tells me the truth kind of way. It doesn't hold me accountable kind of way. But part of getting well is finding a safe person or safe people that you can actually say, "Hey, I'm not all right," and I've dug myself a mess. And sometimes our dads aren't that. Sometimes our moms aren't that. Sometimes our spouses aren't that. It doesn't relieve us of the fact that we got to go find people. And I'm proud of you for doing that, man.
Yeah, that's a very important part of this conversation, Ryan. Now that you've done
Yes,
that,
sir.
what you're trying to do is you're trying to move from chaos, which this out of control feeling that an addiction gives you, and the chaos that results in your finances, and the chaos that results in your career, and the chaos that results in your relationships. You're trying to move wisely from chaos to order. You're trying to bring order to these different areas of your life. That's at least what you should be doing, and it sounds like that's what you're asking to do, and I'm proud of you for that as well. So the thing we're going to do with your money is we're going to put you on a very strict budget where you don't get to do anything except pay off debt. And I want you to list your debts, smallest to largest, and start paying them in that order. And I don't want you going out to eat. I don't want you in a bar. And I don't want you doing anything except working and getting these debts cleaned up. Did you say you're 3 car payments behind, or you have 3 cars?
Oh, no, I'm 3 car payments behind. My next check hits tomorrow.
Can you bring it current with that check?
So my rent, I spend about $1,500 a month in bills. And now that I'm behind,
how much are the car payments?
It's $259.
Okay, so you need $750. What's your check going to be?
It's going to be about, after taxes, it'll be about $987. It's my draw, so I'm on a $2,000 draw, and then I get my commission at the end of the month.
Okay, you have any money in your account now?
$1,600. I have about $100 to my name right now.
Okay, I want you to take it, and you haven't paid the rent yet.
No, sir.
How much is your rent?
It's about $1,000.
Okay, I want you to call your landlord and tell him that you're going to pay him 2 rent payments at the end of the month. That you can't pay him right now because you got to keep your car from being repoed. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And you call him when you get off the phone and tell him that. And he's not going to do anything. He's not going to like it, but you're going to pay him 2 payments at the first of the month because you got enough coming in to do that because you're making good money. You're just not but it all comes in at the end of the month, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you only can do 2 things right now with this check: eat and get the car caught up. Because at 90 days they're going to pick the car up, man.
Yep.
You're at the repo point. They are not going to screw around. You're going to look up, and there's not going to be no car in the driveway and a wrecker running down your street. That's right where you are.
Yeah.
Who do you owe this money to?
You're talking about the gambling debt?
No, the car payment.
It's Keesler Federal Credit Union.
Okay. So that's a local credit union in your area?
Yes, sir. I think they're based out of Biloxi.
Well, call them and see if you can give them 2 payments out of this check tomorrow and give you a little bit of money to catch. Is your electric bill behind too?
Wait, what was that?
Is your electricity and water behind as well?
So I have a roommate, and he's taking care of that, and I've kind of filled him in where I'm at, and he's taking care of some of the utilities. I'm going to have to pay him back.
Okay.
But,
all right, because here's the rule you're looking for. Okay. Food, shelter, clothing, which you probably don't need any of, transportation, and utilities. Everyone else waits until those are current. Food, you eat. Not out to eat. Groceries, bologna, hot dogs, beans and rice. Okay? Food, utilities, shelter, which is rent, and transportation. So you get this car straightened up, you get your landlord straightened up, you get your roommate straightened up on the utilities before we talk about paying anybody. I don't care who they are. You got to take care of your 4 walls of survival before you move on to the next thing. Does that make sense to you?
It does, absolutely.
It is the fastest way for you to get to these other people. Now, once your car is current, what will you owe on it?
My balance is about $12.
Good. And what do you owe? You had $10,000 on a gambling debt, and what else?
I owe $900 to a friend of mine who lended me some cash.
What else?
I owe $1,500 to a friend.
Okay, and your check at the end of the month is going to be what? 10 grand, 8 grand?
Roughly, it fluctuates between about 8,500 to.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to clear up almost everyone but the big one, and your car, and by Christmas the big one and the car are going to be cleared up. No debt. You feel the chaos leaving your life? Feel the order happening? This is what we're doing. Very precise. Follow this exactly. Hold on. We're going to get you with a counselor in your area, a financial coach. We're going to furnish it free. We want to be part of you changing your life, young man. Hold on. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 12:25. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. Corrie ten Boom said, God takes our sins, the past, present, and future, and dumps them in the sea and puts up a sign that says, no fishing allowed. Oh, you gotta love Corey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Elise is in Phoenix. Hi, Elise. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call today.
Sure. How can we help?
So my husband and I are currently on baby step 2. We have roughly paid off about $40,000 since 2020, while also cash flowing a wedding, a bachelor's degree, and a high-risk pregnancy. And we have about $18,000 left.
Y'all been busy.
Yeah. Since having our son in November, we have had a whirlwind of a year. We lost my mother-in-law to cancer in March. We lost my grandfather in June. And we lost my husband's grandmother on Monday.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. So we've been handling my mother-in-law's estate. There was no will or trust, so we've been hunting down individual accounts with my husband and his brother listed as beneficiaries, and we're starting to receive some of that money. We've been treating our situation as a combination of storm mode along with baby step 2, because you never know as like her medical bills and things are going to come in. So we're trying to make sure that we have a stash set aside.
No, you're not liable for her medical bills.
Okay, good. And
her estate is.
Yeah.
The money that's in her name has to be used for those before you get to take it as heirs. But you can't. You're not personally liable for her medical bills.
No, we're just the ones that are handling that.
Yeah, so you don't need a storm mode because your personal finances aren't affected by her situation.
Beautiful. So that was my first question because we received an annuity from her and currently have $31,000 in the bank, and that would take out.
That was a benefit. You were the beneficiary of the annuity?
Yes.
Okay, that's your money. That's clear of the estate. You don't have to worry about it.
So we can go ahead and use that for baby step 2. And
you can use that for anything you want to personally.
Awesome. So we'll probably handle that today. The second step, we just transferred about $77,000 in single stocks into our names. And then we have an inherited IRA and an inherited 401k that will be split between my husband and his brother once we're ready for it. With losing everyone, we're just trying to cling to stability. And so what we were wondering is if it was a wise decision to liquidate some of those single stocks for a good down payment on a house next year.
I think you're too much in the middle of the fire to worry about a house right now.
Don't do anything.
Okay.
I think right now you just clean up and get to calm. Clean up and get to sit. And then just sit in this a little while. Probably next year, if you have extra money above your emergency fund and you're 100% debt-free, we'll talk about a house. Yeah, that's probably exactly what we'll do.
But please, 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 don't spend money that you don't have yet. And even these inherited whatevers, if she's got bills to pay, you're going to have to go to pay off the estate, and you're going to feel like these companies stole from you. They didn't. They just need their payments.
Let me stop you a second. Okay, there's 2 categories of money in her estate. Okay, there's stuff that named you a beneficiary. If there's life insurance and you're a beneficiary, your husband, that comes straight to you. That is not in her estate. That annuity comes straight to you as a beneficiary. It's not in her estate. Those stocks are not yours. That checking account, even if your husband's name on it, is not yours. That money has to be used to pay her medical bills.
Okay.
Before you clear up anything. Okay?
Perfect.
So unless it came to you and because it was in, or your husband because it was in a named beneficiary, it has to be used to pay the bills of the estate. Now, an inherited IRA, did it have a named beneficiary on it?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing then. That is outside of the estate. It is not subject to her other bills. But that stock you're talking about, those checking accounts, those are, you got to keep that separate over to the side until the bills are cleared.
Okay.
You see the difference?
Yes.
because those weren't in your name. The other stuff was named directly, not you, your husband, named directly to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be worth your all's while to spend $500 or $1,000 with a probate attorney to help you sort through this and do this properly, because you're going to have to file some of this stuff with the judge.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be a huge attorney's fee. I wouldn't pay much more than that, but $500 or $1,000 should get that probated and, get the stuff transferred. Was there a car as an example?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't transfer that title without a court order.
Okay.
So, because you can't sign her name, she's dead, right? You have to sign.
Right.
You have to sign on behalf of her, and the court has to give you permission to do that. So, yeah, you guys need to get an attorney, and that'll help you separate the things we're talking about. But when the smoke clears on this, if the medical bills aren't too high, it sounds like you're going to be debt-free with a nice nest egg above your emergency fund. And yes, maybe this time next year, I'm going to be thinking about, or after the first of the year, I'm going to be thinking about getting a car, or getting a house rather, and being debt-free and having the emergency fund in place before you do any of that. Good question.
And God help any listener who doesn't have a will.
Yes.
Gosh, get a will.
Get a will. Get a will. Get a will. It does not increase your probability of death.
No, but it increases
You're not
the probability.
Gonna make it. You're not going to make it. You're going to die. You need a will. Go to Mama Bear Legal Forms and get a will. Go to a local estate planning attorney and get a will. But somewhere, get you a will. They're not that expensive. It's not that complicated. Yes, it's weird talking about dying, but guess what? You're going to die. I'll help you with it. You're not going to make it.
Get a will.
Please get
Save
a will.
all this. Listen to that sweet girl. Lost 3 family members in the period of just a short few weeks.
And now has to deal with this they're out like a treasure hunt looking for accounts.
When they should be sitting on the front porch hugging each other, telling stories about how much they loved you.
Yeah.
And instead, they're combing through your stuff.
You got a
going through your
metal
files.
detector in the backyard looking for the coffee can where you hid the money.
Get a will.
Get a will. Wow, it's bad. And right before you get a will, get a budget. That was a bad segue, but
That was maybe one of the worst segues
ever. Hey, we're doing a free Every Dollar Budgeting webinar with Rachel Cruz August 15th next week. If you want to watch this webinar with Rachel teaching you how to run the Every Dollar software, the Every Dollar app properly with an irregular income, working the baby steps in great detail, she's going to do that. It's completely free. Jade did one yesterday with 10,000 people in attendance. It was pretty amazing. So Rachel's is next Tuesday, I guess it is, August 15th, whatever that is. That's right, Tuesday, I think. Anyway, August 15th, next week. For most of you listening, go to everydollar.com/budgeting, and you can sign up for this free webinar and get the Every Dollar app start working, because Every Dollar is by far the best budgeting app out there. There's not even a close second. I know people think about this or that. Let me just tell you, we've got tens of millions of people doing this. So be sure to check this out. And if you need help, like I said, 10,000 were with Jade yesterday. We can handle it. August 15th, we're going to have some more scheduled over the next 60 days with George and Rachel and Jade. But this coming week is Rachel, August 15th, everydollar.com/budgeting. And that'll get you going for sure, without a doubt. So, Dr. John Deloney, good show today.
Thank you. So I guess the key takeaways are pre-buy my book, get a will, get Every Dollar app. Just summed up the show for everybody.
Oh, that was smooth.
There,
that was
hey,
good. That was
you know
really
what?
good.
People think John Deloney. That's the next word they think.
That's what they
that
think.
guy's smooth.
Austin, Ben, James, Zach, and Andrew in the booth. The booth dudes did a great job today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.